What's up everybody, Subaru WRX fan here for another car review. This is of course the 2006 Subaru WRX STI. Many thanks to Harrison Auto Sales for hooking me up with this car to review for you guys today. As many of you know, I already reviewed a 2004 WRX STI, and you guys love that review so much it is now currently the most popular review I've ever done. But even though I already reviewed a 2004, many of you said you wanted to see a 2006, and the 2006 is personally my favorite iteration of the WRX STI so far. So the changes for 2006, they of course completely redid the front end and put new taillights on the back end, and I think it looks really good. I love the improvements. They toned down on the hood scoop a little bit so it wasn't the bread box size that it was before. This car is not subtle though, even though it's in black. You can see that, you know, in addition to the hood scoop, you have an STI badge here, an STI badge here, you have one on the wheels, and you have one on the doors. That's 4 in just this shot. There's of course more on the back end of the car, and that big rear wing. In addition to, in 2006, they added the roof vane spoiler, which gives you additional downforce and just makes this car even more in your face than it was before. So yeah, this is definitely screams boy racer, but man, it's just so exciting to look at, especially with these gold rims that really pop with the black paint. It just looks spectacular. Right, so for the interior of this car, it's a pretty nice place to be. First, the doors close with a nice solid thunk. Everything is pretty nice in here. They actually did a really nice upgrade in 2005. They carried over to 2006 that really made this a lot better than the 2004. And so a lot of the complaints I had with the 2004 were fixed with this car. First off though, you have this Alcantara type material here on the door panels and on the seats here. Speaking of these seats, they're a little wide, which is a common complaint. A lot of people say they're kind of wide unless you're a larger person. Me being a pretty thin guy, 5'9", these seats are a little too wide for me, but they're not awful. The thigh support is actually pretty good. It's mostly just the torso support that's a little wider than I would like it to be. Steering wheel in this car is really nice. The steering wheel in 2004 wasn't so great. This one is a lot better. Has a really nice leather wrapped wheel here with the red stitching. Looks really nice, feels really great in your hands. Love the wheel. As far as everything else goes in here, you have a nice boost gauge, which is an option in this car. Looks pretty cool, and the beautiful electroluminescent gauges that these cars have. Dash pad up here is pretty nice and soft, and coming along to the center console here, you have this nice silver plastic that is pretty solid feeling, looks really classy, and I mean, even like the buttons for the radio and for the auto climate control, which is a new upgrade as well. That was something that has really improved the interior of this car. I mean, all the resistance for the buttons and the knobs and everything feels really nice. As far as storage stuff goes in this car, pretty small. You have map pockets here in the doors. You can't fit anything bigger than a map in there. You have an ashtray here right by the shifter. That's pretty small. And then you have this small little pocket here where the armrest is. You can fit some very small items in there. Really no storage spaces in this car. But overall, this interior update they did in 2005 really gives this car a lot better feeling on the inside here. This feels way classier than the Evo that I reviewed and the 2004 STI that I reviewed. Just really nice place, very attractive looking. A very nice place to spend time. Backseat room is about average in this car. With me seated here, 5'9". If I went and hopped in the back seat right behind my seat here, I would have about 2 or 3 inches of leg room. It's a little tight, but I mean, it's enough that, it's fine. I probably wouldn't like going on a long trip in this car in the back seat, but, it's totally livable for normal around the town kind of stuff. Now, the first thing I gotta tell you before I even start driving this car though, is that this car has a few little minor modifications. So this has a Cobb access port and a Cobb turboback exhaust. So this is running a Cobb Stage 2 tune. So this is putting out, I'd say a good 20 or 30 more horsepower than stock. And it definitely gives a little bit more of a punch and a nice little tone to it. This Cobb exhaust isn't super loud, but it does give it a really nice sound. So those are the only modifications on the car though. So let's take it for a drive and see how it does. All right, so starting off in the STI. Funny story, right before I was getting ready to pull out, this guy came up and started talking to me about the car. This car definitely attracts a lot of attention, and so it's funny, you'll have conversations like that in a car like this. So you better be prepared if you're gonna own one of these. It's so in your face, you're gonna have a lot of people talking to you about it. It's just kind of funny. All right, so I'm on this bumpy park road here, and it really shows how the suspension is and just how forgiving it is. And this is definitely sprung on the softer side, but it still is fairly firm that it, you feel the bumps, and I wouldn't say this is, Cadillac comfortable or anything like that, but but it's certainly livable. Another thing is the visibility is really great in this car. You know, you have pretty large glass windows, and, you know, being a four-door, there's excellent visibility over your shoulder. And, you know, the only thing that kind of hurts visibility a little bit is in your rearview mirror, you see that enormous wing. But for the most part, it stays out of the way, so it's not really that annoying. You can normally see out just fine still. Also, the driving position is pretty nice. You sit up a little higher in this, you know, it doesn't feel like a sports car really, but it does have a very commanding view of the road, and it's very confidence-inspiring. All right, so let's turn on this back road here and see how it does. Yeah, so this thing pulls strong. There's no doubt about that. So, you know, this is totally turbocharged, and you feel that. I mean, the power doesn't really kick on until 3.5, 4 grand, and then boom, it kicks in, and man, is it fun. Oh, I mean, you've seen so many people having fun in these cars already, I'm sure. You know how exciting this turbo is. It's just so thrilling. Alright, so power aside, I'm on this back road here, and how does it feel? Well, the ride is nice and firm. It feels like a pretty small car going down the road, so you don't have to worry about feeling big or squeezing on a back road like this. Steering feel is pretty nice. It has a nice weight to it. It's a little loose and a little less precise than I would like, but it gets the job done just fine, and it's actually really enjoyable to steer. Other things are these brakes, which this car has upgraded. It's slotted and drilled rotors and new pads, so it has a little more bite than you normally would stock, but the pedal feels still really great. There's a little bit of dead travel in the beginning, but then once you start getting into the actual brake pad, it gives you a lot of feel. It's actually really nice how much feel you get. But here's the tight corner I come up to all the time, and going through it. This is stock suspension, so there's a little bit of body roll that you can easily fix with sway bars, but it's still, even with the body roll, it feels very planted though. Just because it's rolling doesn't mean it can't handle it. Let's do another one of those little accelerations here. Yeah, this thing will get you in trouble. Man, it's so fast. Wow. Yeah, and this being a Stage 2 Cobb tuned, of course, like I said, it's even faster than stock, and these things are already a riot just from the factory. So yeah, those are my initial impressions, but I'm going to drive this car all afternoon here and give you a better idea of what it's like to drive over the long term, and I'll be back and give you my updated impressions. So I've been driving this car for a while now, and man, it's so much fun, and there's a reason why my username is Subaru WRX fan. So this is going to be slightly biased, but these 2006s especially were the ones that I just dreamed about getting whenever I was younger, and so this is just, it's so amazing to be able to spend an entire day with one, and I love it. I mean, I had driven them before and loved them back then, but man, do I really love this car. So one thing that now I've been driving this car for a while is that the ride's a little bouncy. So it's a combination of the softer springs in the STI and softer springs in these seats. These seats are sprung almost like mattresses or something. I can bounce around in these seats, and it's kind of funny. So those two things combined kind of exaggerates this bouncy feel of this car. And so it's nice though, because I'd rather have this softer ride and softer seats than the Evo with its firm seats and its firm suspension. So that's just one interesting thing of note. Another thing, while we're comparing this car to the Evo, is this car pulls way harder. I mean, I know this is more power than the Evo, but it just, the way it pulls, even a stock STI, I've driven many of those, it just pulls so much harder to me. I mean, it's crazy. It's just, this is just, it really is impressive how hard this thing pulls. I mean, you really, really gotta hang on to your seat in this thing. I mean, and just having that Boxer soundtrack, it's just an amazing sound that's been around for decades now, and it just sounds amazing. Another thing that I really love about this car is the shifter, and just, I mean, comparing it to the Evo once again, the Evo had a super heavy clutch and the gearbox felt pretty good in the Evo, but the gearbox feels really great. You can snap off shifts really quickly, and it's nice and precise, and the clutch pedal in this car is pretty light. It's just enough weight that it feels substantial. It's not quite as light as the BRZ, but it's not heavy. I haven't had any leg fatigue from driving around for 5 hours with this clutch. One thing that I've noticed, though, now that I've owned a BRZ for so long, is this doesn't handle as good, for sure. When you're pushing this car in a corner, you can kind of feel the understeer a little bit, and it just doesn't have as much bite as the BRZ or, you know, a real sports car chassis would have. This is just doing the best with what it has, but you're still in a four-door sedan, and that's kind of something that becomes apparent, but it still is a ton of fun to carve up back roads with. And of course, you do any kind of suspension modifications to make it a lot sharper, and then you really have a winner on your hands. Stock suspension just needs a little bit of work in this car, but otherwise it's really great. So in conclusion, I love this car. It's so much fun. I love it in every single way. I really have no complaints whatsoever about it. It's just a great car. These are just awesome, and they're built really well. They run forever. I mean, they go anywhere in the snow. There's just so many good things about these cars. So yeah, I definitely would recommend this car to anyone that's looking for an all-around amazing car. This is really great, and the Subaru has amazing safety as well. So I mean, there's lots of peace of mind. Like I said, it's amazing in the snow. All kinds of good things about this car. I can go on and on, really. But yeah, I love this car. Many thanks to Harrison Auto Sales once again for hooking me up with this car to review for you guys. This one is for sale right now at their dealership, so I posted the link in the description. You can check it out if you're interested in it. Give them a call, and they'll be glad to help you out. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.